Ladies and gentlemen, this is Wainuiomata. We are so back. You may remember a number of years ago, many years ago, I did a video making, sort of like a mini documentary on the old Wainuiomata shopping centre that used to be here. And then I followed that up with a series of videos showcasing the progress on the redevelopment. The last update I made was, I think, about 3 years ago. So I thought that today, seeing as people seem to keep having an interest in this, I still get comments on my redevelopment videos even to this day. So I figured, as it's been a few years, let's take a little bit of a walk round and let's see what else has changed. Okay, so we are starting off today down here by the McDonald's, and it's probably at this end of Wainuiomata's main area that you'll find the largest amount of change. First of all, the supermarket. You may have noticed that the Countdown is no longer called Countdown, it's now called Woolworths. Now, if you're watching this and you're from New Zealand, or even if you're from Australia, you probably already know what's going on here. However, not all of my viewers are from New Zealand, so I'll fill you in for those of you who don't know. Basically, Countdown supermarkets in New Zealand and Woolworths supermarkets in Australia are pretty much all the same thing. It's the same company. They even use the same logo. It's just a different name. And then in, I think it was July of 2023, they announced that all of the Countdown stores in New Zealand were going to be rebranded as Woolworths. And so for the last year or so, they've been gradually rebranding all of the stores one by one. Interestingly, this store here in Wainuiomata was actually the first store in the Wellington region to get rebranded to Woolworths. So, nice little interesting tidbit of information there. Now, also in this area, you'll see another change right over here, and that is KFC, where I've actually just been and had my lunch in there. So the last time I was here, there was nothing over there. It was still just a patch of dirt ground that had nothing on it. They've built a KFC on here now. This opened, I think it was, was it? Yeah, it was this year actually, 2024, the KFC opened, and that is the newest structure to actually be built here. Just mind me casually jaywalking my way through all the traffic, but yeah, nothing really too special about it. It's just a KFC, but as it's fairly new, it's pretty nice inside. Pretty quiet today because it's sort of Sunday afternoon and we've probably missed the main lunch rush just a little bit. Okay, next change is actually just a little bit outside the shopping centre redevelopment area. This was the Caltex petrol station. Now, this isn't really part of the old shopping centre story or the redevelopment of it, but I thought I would talk about it anyway, seeing as I have mentioned it a couple of times in my previous videos. So as you can see, the Caltex petrol station here has closed down. It closed down earlier this year. I'm surprised it's not fenced off actually. But yeah, kind of a shame. This petrol station was pretty run down. Even by Caltex's standards, it was pretty rubbish. But yeah, bit of a shame. Now, apparently, I've seen plans that this whole petrol station is going to be completely demolished and the workshop there. And they have plans to build, no surprises there, a block of flats. So, yeah. Bit of a shame. The other annoying thing about this is this now means there's only one petrol station in Wainuiomata now. There's a BP Connect on the other side over there, which is now the only petrol station in Wainuiomata and the only car wash. Speaking of the car wash, it's actually still here, look. The old Laser Wash M5 is still here. Now actually, this car wash has actually been closed for longer than the petrol station has because it broke and they never bothered to fix it. But it's still here, look, it hasn't been removed yet. It probably will get removed at some point when they come to do the demolition of the site. There's not many M5s left these days. There's a couple, I think there might be one or two running up in Auckland, but that's about it. I'd be tempted to say that they could take that one apart and use it as spares, but to be quite honest, given that there's probably given there's probably only like 2 or 3 M5s left, and they're probably all going to get replaced in the next couple of years anyway, it's probably not even worth salvaging parts from that. Probably just chuck it all straight in the bin. It's a fairly old machine. Now, also in this area, you may have noticed in the back of some other shots that over there, you can see all those new houses over there. Those new townhouses were not here a few years ago. Those are all brand new as well. I think they were completed either back end of last year or beginning of this year. Again, that's not really got anything to do with where the shopping centre used to be, but it is sort of adjacent to it, so it does kind of bear mentioning. Right, let's go and take a look further along and see what we can find. I'll be honest, I haven't actually planned how this video is going to work out. I'm kind of just exploring as I go. I think, as I've mentioned in previous videos, the McDonald's is one of the few structures left from the old shopping centre that's still here, as well as the store that used to be the warehouse. And interestingly, whilst I was in between takes earlier, just going to come through, I did actually notice something on the with the old former warehouse store here, and I've noticed a couple of things. That they've put a fence up there, because you used to be able to go right around the back of this building and come out the other side. That's now all been fenced off. And what I've also noticed here, look, is they've taken away the steps by the fire exit here. This here used to be a fire exit for the warehouse when the warehouse was here, and the steps, look, have been completely demolished. And this here used to be a mimic index for the fire alarm system, which has now been removed. And interestingly, I'll have to go around the other side if I can and see if the old fire alarm panel is still there. But yeah, you used to be able to go all the way through here, but it's fenced off now. So coming back along here now past the red building again, and I've pointed this out in previous videos, you can see where extra metalwork has been added to the outside of the building. You can see a slight difference in the colour of the red paint, where all of this lower section was added on, because this, where I'm standing right now on this road, used to be indoors. This used to be the shopping centre, and there's now a road where that used to be. So we're walking past the Woolworths supermarket. There's a fire exit there. And heading along. Not really a lot has changed in this bit for the last few years. Probably because there's not much here to change. Interestingly enough, up here, this bit here, look, oh wow. See, that's all fenced off here. It looks to me like they're getting ready to put an extension onto this bit of building, which looks very, very interesting. This might actually be a sign that something might actually be able to happen, be about to happen rather, with this building, because this building has been sat empty for ages. It still got the for lease retail opportunity sign on it. The fact that there's actually some construction work happening here might be a sign that they are potentially making a move on it at last. The fire alarm panel is still here, interestingly enough. The old Vigilant FP1600, and at some point somebody has taken the old fire alarm index out and replaced it with a new one that just showcases this building. So they have actually updated the map. Though if they're going to be doing building work here soon, they're probably going to replace that system anyway. So this little bit here, which was at one point in time being used as an overflow car park, is now a nothing. Back over this way, This is still the Ministry of Social Development offices. That hasn't changed. Heading back over to this side, to all the sides. Not sure when that mural was put up. That's, but I don't remember seeing that before, but that might have been here previously. Now, I did talk when they first built this about the fire alarm systems. You can see now that Chubb have taken over the maintenance for the Woolworths, which is not at all unsurprising because pretty much all Woolworths supermarkets are with Chubb. Down here by the Ministry of Social Development, they're using their own contractor. Oh, they're using BWOF Consultants, interestingly. Now this here is rather interesting though, and we did talk about this in previous videos, this old building here, which they keep saying they're going to turn into something, and it never seems to happen. First they said it was going to be turned into like a music venue, and then that never happened. I think the COVID pandemic might have killed that project. Excuse me. But they're now saying they're going to be turning it into Hills Community Hub. This sign, by the way, has been here for quite a long time, and the progress on it is somewhere between slow and non-existent. So I'm not entirely sure what's happening there. The inside of the building looks like it's been pretty well gutted by this point. So there probably is something happening internally there, but not a lot is happening that we can actually see all too well. Don't know if there's anything over this way. Well, that's pretty stupid though. They've put this reflective mirrored glass in here. The only problem is that they've put it in front of the fire alarm panel. So if this building's on fire and the fire brigade turn up, how the hell are they going to see the index? Then again, if the inside of the building's been gutted, it might not be hooked up anyway. While I'm over here, actually, I almost forgot to point this out, that over there is also a new Burger King, except it kind of is, kind of isn't. It is Burger King, but what it actually is a Burger King Express, or BK Express. So basically what that means is that it's like a normal Burger King, but they only do drive-through and takeaway. There's no restaurant, there's nowhere to sit down, no tables or anything. It's purely takeaway and drive-through. So we now actually have probably the 3 biggest fast food chains in the country here in Wainuiomata. When the shopping centre was around, there was only McDonald's. Now we've got BK Express and KFC here too. So, yeah, just another little thing I point out. The BK Express is actually, it's not a new build, it was actually an existing building. I can't remember for the life of me what it was before, but it was actually an existing building that was converted into the BK Express. Yes, and they're now using it for that. You can probably get a better view of it from the other side, but can't quite be bothered to walk around that far. Maybe I'll have to drive around there and get a shot in a moment. Now, coming round here to the other part of sort of the town centre is where you will have seen over the last few years some additional work has been done to sort of do this little area up a little bit. I mean, all the shops and everything are pretty much still the same, but there have been a few changes here. The whole road section here has been redone. They've put new street lighting in as well. Nice new LED street lights have gone in. That's a nice touch. And over here, this whole area here in front of the town hall, this has been completely redone as well. Again, we've got new street lighting gone in, and this has all been nicely done up. Still got the World War I memorial here, and then you've got the community hall and the library over there. Nothing's really changed with those, but here we are. They have where the Price Buster store is here, the upstairs of that has been converted into apartments, I think. At least I'm pretty sure it's apartments they turn it into. But other than that, there's not a huge amount going on. Some more new townhouses going up over there. So there we go. So that is probably pretty much it for this update, ladies and gentlemen, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, you see, this is kind of why I've not really done any further updates on the redevelopment here for the last 3 years, is the main bulk of the work has been done. And to be quite honest with you, there's not a huge amount of change. Probably the most major change in terms of the actual redevelopment is the new KFC, because that's actually on the land where the shopping centre and the old supermarket used to sit. A lot of the other stuff is fairly superficial. I mean, things like the petrol station closing down and the new townhouses, and putting in the apartments here. Yeah, that's all kind of nice, but it's not really part of the story of the shopping centre as a building. That side of things is mostly over, though I'll be very interested to see what they're doing over there where the red building is. It'll be very interesting to see what that gets turned into, and I'll have to keep my eyes peeled on that whenever I have visits over this way in the future. But otherwise, that's pretty much it for this update. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time.